welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you my Sephora beauty sale top picks, and I'm just going to do a full face to turn from this into. Alright, first off, I'm going to be talking about sunscreens from Supergoop. I have the new Glowscreen as well as the Unseen Sunscreen, which is marketed to be a little bit more mattifying, a little bit more silicone based. It has that texture. The Glowscreen, however, has a very nice shine. Just going to show you the two textures really quick. I highly recommend this for varied skin kind of needs, and for me, I mean, obviously as an oily skin girl, this would be better, but I love a glowing primer or a glowing sunscreen because I do like glowing primers, and basically I can just apply it where I want. You can see the textures are pretty different, and one is like, once you blend it out, it becomes like a completely transparent base. The other is a bit more of a flesh tone color, but once you blend this one in, this one feels a lot more like wet. So once you blend it in, it's like your moisturizer, but it leaves a glowing sheen. Not sure if you can see that. Yeah, but it's super beautiful. I like to use both, and at least for the Unseen Sunscreen, I like to apply it like somewhere around here, and the glowing primer on my cheeks. And I keep calling it a primer, but it's a sunscreen, and it just performs to me more like a double up. You can use it more like a primer, and that's great. To me, the primary difference about these two sunscreens is that the textures are honestly completely different. One is like really velvety to the touch, and it almost really feels like a silicone based primer, but once you blend it into the skin, it doesn't crumble, and it feels almost like, like the Benefit Professional. Yeah, so but I like the fact that it has SPF, so that's really good. The item from Supergoop is the Bright Eyes Mineral Eye Cream, and it's a little bit of a peachy shade, so it brightens up under eyes really well. You can see it comes out like a white base with a peach undertone, and this has SPF as well. So basically all the products I'm using I highly recommend for you guys to pick up during the sale, especially if you're looking like for an eye cream and you're not sure which eye cream to get, or you're looking for a sunscreen and you're not sure which sunscreen to get. These honestly, out of all the stuff that I have bought and tried, have been very effective for me. And you can see like instantly it brightens up my under eyes and actually works, and it has SPF, which is great. Tatcha, the liquid silk canvas. I used to use the kind of balmy one, but I didn't really get along with that. But when they came out with the liquid version, I honestly fell in love because it's watery, and also I just feel like it's everything I wanted the initial primer to do. The initial primer, I found that you kind of have to really melt it in your hand and use the warmth of your skin, versus like this, which is already like fully liquid. I like this primer because it doesn't kind of turn into eraser dust on my skin, which typically does for oily skin, and I find that it just looks great and it prolongs the makeup wear. Alright, two foundations to recommend. The first one would be like a very light coverage type of foundation for every day, and if I wasn't doing like a full glam look, I would definitely use this, but today I'm doing a full glam look, so I'm going to recommend another foundation. This is from Nudestix, the tinted cover. You guys probably heard me or seen me use it in my IG stories, and I just freaking love it. It's like slightly higher coverage than the ColourPop tinted moisturizer, which I did a review on, and also the Laura Mercier one, which is super overpriced. I find that this is a good in between, and they came out with like a bigger size, which is great, and it comes with a pump, so that's always really handy. And with these kind of foundations, it's great that it's in a squeezy tube, so you can squeeze every single drop out, and the color selection is pretty decent. It has deep and dark shades that go decent. I mean, it isn't the best, but for something like this with a little bit of a lower coverage, you don't really need it to match you exactly. You can just blend it into your skin, so it's really worth checking out, especially if you're like just someone who wants an everyday fix. For a more formal or a bit more, this also can work for everyday if you use a little bit of product versus using a lot, but it looks incredible, and it's the Makeup Forever Reboot foundation. I'm in love with this. Like, I mean, Makeup Forever, I love all their foundations. I don't typically like the matte ones, even though it actually works better for my skin, but I don't really like that mattifying look. I've always been trying to strike a balance with, you know, glowing skin on oily skin because I am dehydrated, but also I just like the natural radiance without looking overly greasy. So that's always the balance I try to strike, and this is so good. It isn't like your typical hydrating foundation where it's like super runny and it just feels like very tacky on the skin. I mean, it does feel tacky, but it doesn't look extremely like greasy and stuff. So without rambling too much, I'm gonna just do about this much, and I'm just gonna apply it with my fingers today to show you guys. So it spreads like, honestly, like, okay, it's very similar in texture to the Ultra HD, but it's more hydrating, and I just find that this builds like no foundation I've ever used. Like, it builds on each layer very seamlessly. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's like butter. It's like better than butter. It's like liquid butter. So that's why I really like it. And also, I mean, it doesn't really show to have SPF in it, and typically Makeup Forever foundations don't really do that, so that it doesn't have a flashback for formal photos. But yeah, this is another level. I mean, it's like super skin-like, but looks very full coverage. Like, I'm not sure if that makes sense, but especially applying it with my fingers, I find I retain the most coverage, but also I give it the most skin-like finish. So I'm not sure if you guys can see, but this is with the foundation and the primers and everything, and this is without. So this is my skin without any product, and this is my skin with. Super seamless, right? But you can definitely tell everything has been neutralized and it looks pretty perfected. I'm filming on my phone because my computer is sent for servicing, and it's probably going to be a vertical video, but I hope you guys don't mind. Concealer, I talked about this in my Organic Beauty kind of full face, which you can see in the cards here. But yeah, I love this concealer. It's like super stretchy, entirely full coverage, and it's also super hydrating. So this I can use all over my face and under my eyes. Typically, like, I don't really pay attention to the texture of it. You can see like it has a decent amount of shine, which is great for your under eye, so it doesn't make it look dull and sallow. If you don't like that level of shine, you can put a little bit of powder or just dab it with a piece of tissue. But I love it because I find like you don't notice these things until a product, you know, does it. Because most concealers that I've used, I just use it for either color correcting or for its coverage for under the eye, and I never really realized how it emphasized like the texture. Sometimes I have like little mini bumps under my eye as well as fine lines, and especially if you're dehydrated, all these things will just exacerbate. So when I had this concealer and when I was trying it, initially I was like, whoa, I never noticed how dewy this concealer is, or if any concealer was dewy for that matter. But yeah, when I used this, it was so full coverage first off that it ticked the first box, and then I was like, why am I not used to this texture? And eventually, like, the more I used it, I just found like my eyes look really bright and very radiant, and I was just like in love with it, and I never stopped using it. So like even now, because I like it so much, I ration it a lot, so I only use it under my eyes. So this is something that I've used before. I mean, I just purchased a new one, but I've used it a couple of times before. It's the Skinfinish Mineralize Skinfinish from MAC, and it's like a baked powder, so you can see it's risen, so the texture is just really kind of just very soft, and those are the kind of powders that I use nowadays. And I typically don't use powder at all, but if it's gonna be like a baked version, then that really suits my under eyes really well. And for people who are like me, honestly, you won't go wrong with a powder like this. And another one that I would recommend, but I'm not showing here today, would be the Hourglass powders. Those have a bit more reflect, but it's super fine that, yeah, honestly, it's really good. And this is MAC Cosmetics, so it's tried and true by even makeup artists. I quickly went ahead to do my brows, and you guys know this recommendation is coming. It's the new Fenty cream products. It's the bronzer as well as the blush range. You can see here I have a few colors to recommend. For my bronzing shade, I would say I used to love like the greyish undertone, which I've spoken to my sister about in great lengths, but basically that creates more of a shadow and a chiseled look. But I think overall it might look a bit more muddy on my skin tone because I'm olive. I mean, a bit more olive in undertone, a bit more, you know, Asian in complexion. So this shade, Butter Biscuit, is my go-to, and I say go-to so loosely, but it just came out. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be my go-to. It's a cream compact bronzer, and this is like everything the Huda 10 tour is supposed to be, but wasn't. I think that the Huda Beauty one, like the packaging was really crap. But yeah, basically I use a dual fiber brush like I always do. You guys know, like, this is, I mean, the reason why I'm recommending it, even though, like, you know, it's so overly hyped and stuff like that, but I use cream products, guys. Like, I know a lot of you don't use cream products, but I use cream products. Like, I am a genuine fan, and anyone else who tells you they use cream products but don't actually use it, they don't really know what to look out for in a cream product. And basically, like, what you need to look for is a product that, you know, lasts well. For instance, like, if, okay, I would say the Chanel Soleil Tan Chanel. I think like a lot of people talk about it. I have it also. This gets really messy, so like, first things first, the packaging must be like really good, and also the product itself. This one is like a moussey whip. I like that, but it's very hard to maintain. Whereas this is like, I mean, if I didn't tell you it was a cream product and if it didn't say on the packaging, you would definitely think it was a powder. But it's like so well pressed into the compact that, yeah, I think in terms of packaging, it's very user-friendly, and it has a mirror inside. Whereas, like, you know, something like the Nudestix, which I love in terms of formula, it's very pigmented. It's just a product. It's just a wind-up stick and you just swipe it on. I mean, this is the highlighter, which I'll be recommending later, but the bronzer looks the same, and you guys have seen me use it so many times, and I really like the shade of what Nudestix has. But, you know, I just prefer something like this in this compact. Like, it's just a lot easier. You can see yourself, you can build the intensity. In terms of formula, I guess you guys probably can tell it takes a while to build up, and you can use it in one of two ways. You can use it like with your finger. You can really warm it up and press it so that there's more pigment comes out. But for me, I love a dual fiber brush. Like, you can just swirl it in if you want to pick up more product. But you can see on the right side of my face, there's a very natural bronzing going on. The formula itself is, it's sheer to buildable, so it's really something for everybody. And not to forget, it has a great shade range, as Fenty always does. Right, and that's my complexion bronze. Moving on to the cream products. The blushes from Fenty, I would recommend this shade. It's a Summertime Wine. You can see it's like a grapish undertone, like a purplish pink. It's pretty deep, but like I said, these formulations, you can go really light-handed. This is Fuego Flush. It has like a bit of shimmers in it, but still super wearable, and I love orange. And this is Rose Latte, which is your typical kind of nude tone, and I highly recommend this one for most of you out there because it's, you can see it's pretty deep, right? So if you're not someone who does bronzing or whatever, this can be layered in the blush region and slightly into the contour region, so it can do a dual purpose. And it's like, you know, a slightly mauvey shade, so doubles up as a blush. Gonna be using Rose Latte, similarly dual fiber brush. This is from Colourpop, this brush. I honestly think that these pigments are formulated to be, it's very translucent, like, but it has a punch of color, but not your typical color. Like, you know how matte products, like a matte blush, a powdered blush, usually like looks very pigmented, and it almost like cancels out your skin underneath. But the reason why I love cream products, I mean most cream products do this, is that it lets your natural skin shine. And for those of you who have not tried cream products, what are you waiting for? It's honestly, look at it, like everything still looks like my skin and it's so beautiful. I like to take, you know, blush on my temples so it looks a little bit more sun-kissed. Okay, another blush recommendation, I'm just gonna layer it on top a little bit, is the MAC Glow Play blushes. I mentioned this in the Sephora or new product releases video. I'm gonna put it up there as well. And the two shades that you definitely have to pick up is So Natural, this one here, as well as Blush Please, this one here. You can see a trend. I always like a good mix of something a bit more corally and something a bit more pink. But I'm going to use the coral one just to give it a bit more of a pop. And yeah, a bigger dual fiber brush also from Colourpop. These have a bit more of that like cream to powder finish, so if you're not used to like something straight up cream. Alright, we're almost done for complexion. Nudestix Hey Honey. I think I picked up a new one. Clearly it's new, but I've used it a lot and it's just like a dewy skin dreams gold. It's like a glaze stick and it doesn't have like noticeable sparkles. It looks very much like something that you can apply on its own, and it looks something very much like, you know, the editorial highlights that, you know, models in magazines have. Eyeshadow palette, Natasha Denona. If you're looking for something that will work for formal occasions, always go with a neutral palette. But also in terms of formulation, I think I haven't really brought up Natasha Denona in a while, because like I think since I started my YouTube channel till maybe last year's favorite, I've been talking about Natasha Denona, and only recently I talked about Pat McGrath. But I'm going back to it because during a sale you definitely need to get it because it's pretty expensive. But I feel like Natasha Denona palettes are way more a bang for your buck than maybe Pat McGrath. Pat McGrath has like very editorial textures. McGrath has like glitters and stuff like that, but these are like just basically matte shades, foiled shades, and some shimmers. But overall it's so buttery. Like it's the pinnacle of matte formulas and it just is incredible. Okay, I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm using the shade Perry right here. This is a Bloom Kit brush. It's the smooth blender brush. Look at that color, like you guys, like I can't recommend anything bad from Natasha Denona, honestly. This shade called Freckle, it's like another matte shade, but it's just like a perfect matte brown. Just gonna deepen the crease area. I'm gonna go in with this shade called Shine. Just gonna show you how freaking pigmented. Okay, get ready for the fireworks. Oh my lord, seriously, I haven't used like played with eyeshadow in so long, but I love this palette. Oh my gosh, if like I could have a boyfriend that was a eyeshadow palette, this would be it. This is a shade called Monroe for inner corner highlight. Boom, look at that. It like shines till NASA can see. Okay, I'm just gonna do my lashes and I'll get back to you with the final product. Lip liner, I've mentioned this before. Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Iconic Nude or Pillow Talk or Pink Venus. Those three are the shades to go for, and I have this much left. I already bought a backup, but even recommending it, I'm like thinking, I honestly hope it never sells out or they discontinue it, because I'll be really upset. It's like my perfect lip color. The formula is obviously great. So you can see it looks like just a matte lip liner, and I love this color. It's like not too pink, not too peach, not too bright. I just love like a nice nude base. It has quite a greyish undertone, but I still love it. And for lip product, I would highly recommend the Magnetic Plush Paint from Nudestix. These are honestly so good. It's like a perfect multi-purpose product, and as the name suggests, it's a plush paint which you can use all over. You can use it like literally anywhere. I guess for this look I'll go with a neutral lip. I'm gonna use this shade called Hot Paprika, and yeah, you can use it on your cheeks, but I did recommend a whole bunch of cheek products already. Look at that. The applicator is perfect as well because it's like that flat on one edge and like precise on the other, so you can get your cupid's bow. And this color is perfect. Oh my gosh, it matches my eyes so well. The other shades I'll recommend is Tahiti Hottie. It's like a brownish grey, Bahama Mama, a beautiful like rosy petal nude, and Waikiki Rose. So I'm just gonna put all the shades side by side. This is the one that I used, and this is their nude selection, the magnetic plush paint from Nudestix. So good. Okay, and that's me trying a full face of products that I would recommend during this beauty sale. I'm gonna hurry edit it and put it up because the sale is now on 5th to 7th May, and I guess there's different openings for Black and Gold card members, but overall you guys, this is the Sephora sale everyone has been waiting for. Especially in Singapore, we don't have like that massive you know, Black Friday, Cyber Monday kind of thing, but this is as close as it gets. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.